Alrighty then. So we are pretty much over halfway through championship mode now in this game, and I think the event I'm going to do next, whilst I continue this row of the tree in championship mode, is this: the Aussie rules lap knockout. Prove that HSV, Holden, can meet and beat 5 of Europe's best in a lap knockout at Island Outskirts. Pit your Holden Coupe GTS against the BMW M5 and the Jaguar XKR. Event 27 gets unlocked only if you finish first, otherwise you'll have to try it all over again. No effing worries, mate. I think I'll enjoy this. So I think it's time for us to once again say good day to our Holden, and to basically tell it that we are doing an event for the Australians. This is just me doing my Australian accent, by the way. I'm not being stereotypical. FYI. And as for the colour, well... This is a tricky one. Well, I've used it in all colours before, except for silver, so... yeah, what the hell. I'll race this thing in silver. Because why not? But yeah, so we are upholding the flag for Australia, mates and Sheilas. And this is our competition. So we've got 3 BMW M5s and 2 Jags. Let's get to it. As we are once again starting on the Golden Gate Bridge lookalike. And so we begin our 5-lap knockout race, which hopefully I will be fuck you, which hopefully I can manage to win, as long as that Jag just decides to not suddenly force me straight into the wall again. But again, it's street racing. There's basically no rules when you're street racing. You basically just have to go as fast as you can and hope you don't die. Well, not to say that I'd ever recommend you do street racing in real life, but in the video game at least, make sure whatever actions you do in the video games stay in the video games. Because street racing is far from legal, especially if you aim to be a responsible driver in real life like I am. I would say street racing in real life, unless you want to have permanent offences that will basically tarnish your reputation, I would say never do street racing in real life. Ever. And part of the reason I say that as well, because with there being games that would follow up to this one, they would actually give messages to say that in real life, as a driver, you need to drive safely and responsibly, which is basically what I do. It feels like everyone wants to put me in the fence at the moment. It just feels like they're literally wanting to crash me every time I try to close in on them and pass them cleanly. They basically have to make me defend myself and basically preventing harmful scathing on the car just to literally achieve the results I want to achieve. And now I am retaking the lead and coming through now to lead the first lap. And that BMW is closing in, but he's not gonna pip me for leading the first lap. Those points go to me, and you motherfucker. You absolute motherfucker. That was completely uncalled for. Just totally idiotic, berserk, and uncalled for. It felt like he was literally trying to murder me. And that probably would have happened if I didn't slam on the brakes. I'm not gonna let him... I will not let him get away with that. I will not let that one slip without some sort of retaliation. I will make sure I send my message. Because he is not getting away with that. I don't care who you are. That is just totally wrong. Yeah, that's payback, you little shit. Because you basically wrecked me. Because you basically wrecked me up on that other part of the highway when you clearly shouldn't have. I'm also glad to say that he paid for it, because he's now fallen back. Must have been Ashley who very nearly wrecked me. He would have literally put me in the tree as well. At over 150 miles an hour. Had I not slammed on the brakes right before he forced me into that tree. I know it's not wise to get revenge, but if it's in video games and you're feeling enough rage from someone's transgressive act to literally force you straight into what's basically a near-death situation, or what feels like a near-death situation, then the only thing you can really think about is getting your revenge. And that's basically what I did. Now, you should never do this in real life, but because this is in a video game, it's okay. Oh, can I set a new top speed? Oh, 161. Oh, I just hit 162. I think that's going to be my top speed from this race. 162 miles an hour is my top speed. Just gotta try and stay ahead of Dom in his blue BMW. He's definitely giving me a run for my money, and I've now knocked both my mirrors off. Well, it was gonna happen sooner or later. The BMW definitely looks to be superior in terms of overall speed. But it's okay because I still lead this race, and hopefully, if it's possible, I can be successful in holding on to my race lead. And I put my car straight in the fence. Oh no you don't. I'm not being forced into the guardrail this time, if that's what your plan is. If you think you're going to force me into the guardrail, then you can forget about it. Because I will not be an easy opponent to crash. If that's what your game plan is. I will not let you cause a totally avoidable accident. If that's what your plan is. So my simple advice to you, mate, is watch yourself. Because there are certain drivers out there who will not be as magnanimous as I will be. I know it's probably not the wisest thing to deliberately wreck someone on the racetrack, but there are certain circumstances where you can get payback. Oh yeah, I also just beat my previous lap record as well. So I'm now shifting up into 5th gear at over 150 miles an hour. Can I beat my top speed of 162? And I tie my top speed record of 162, and that's a wall. But it's okay because we've still got plenty of time to make up the interval. I've managed to keep myself ahead of the AI for most of this race, even though the high line is obviously the preferable line, but I am keeping myself ahead of Ashley, as there's now only 3 of us left. This is the penultimate lap of the lap knockout, and I normally seem to get round this sector better than the AI does. As I'm closing in on, I think it's it's Dom who is leading this race, and Ashley is right on my ass again. But he shall not pass. You shall not pass. I'm also pretty sure that's a Lord of the Rings reference. Although, personally speaking, I've never watched Lord of the Rings, but I'm familiar with the saying at least. And someone is attempting to take a shortcut that's probably not going to work. Although, as to where that shortcut is, I've got no fucking idea. And Dom is right there next to me. We were literally side by side for a moment there. We're literally just beating and banging with each other for the lead, which I somehow managed to take a hold of once again, and basically trying to block with my life just to basically stay in this race, because none of us are safe. Not even I'm safe because of how close this race is. Ashley is right behind us, and basically if we both wreck ourselves, he will likely come in and take the position, but he's not going to have time to, because both myself and Dom start the final lap.
You've set a new lap record!
And I've demolished both of my previous lap records, as I had to lift out of the gas for a moment there. so I could... How did I avoid that tree? That could have easily been a terrible accident had I not stepped on the brakes and somehow used my reflexes to prevent my car from getting wrecked at the front. In other words, it would have literally been an accident that I would have done nothing about, but fortunately, I did do something about it. And this is now the final lap as we head across the volcano section of the course once again, and almost losing control of my car again. I'm going to assume there must be lava underneath that metal grid, but it's okay because the metal grid is there for a reason, and right now I'm doing good because I'm still in the lead and making a little bit of contact there with the outside guardrail, but still able to keep myself in the lead, which is where I need to be. I have a feeling Dom is probably going to make at least one or two more punts before this race is done, but I'm just hopeful in saying I can hold on to this position, because I'm basically having to release my inner Dominic Toretto to basically just hold on with my life for securing the race lead, which is basically what I'm doing right now, because I'm trying to make sure that I somehow hold on to my race lead without forcing myself into any unforced errors. I really do hope that's not going to be the nail in the coffin. Okay. Come on. Come on. Back in front, back in front. Okay, I'm back in front again. And is this going to be another lap record? Yes, it is. Wow.
Well done. You have just won the Aussie Rules Lap Knockout.
And I also set another new lap record of 2 minutes 52.6. Basically demolishing the 3 previous lap records I had at this place, and basically just having to use my Dominic Toretto tactics to somehow win this race. So there's that. And I beat Dom to the flag. Oh, 2 minutes 52.67 was my best lap in the end of that race, and I had the highest average speed of 125 miles an hour over Dom's average speed of 124 and the best overall speed of 163, which is interesting.
You've beaten the lap record for this track.
I have demolished the lap record from what I did with the Jag.
You've beaten the best time for this track.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. Okay, well, anyway, let's now get some clickbait evidence, because I do record these replays for a reason. Yeah, I really don't think it was necessary for Mika to just run me straight into the wall. Basically, when we were going through turn 1, that, aside from a couple of other tactics, I think at the very start of the race, that was just completely uncalled for. But it doesn't matter, because I did manage to get ahead of her, and regardless of whatever other transgressive activity there was in that race, I still managed to come away with the dub. Which is the only thing I care about, because it means I can move on. Winning single race events in this game do allow you to move on with the game. At least that's my understanding of it. Unless you're doing tournaments, then they're based on points and you don't have to win every single race, you just need to be the most consistent player. Getting some reasonable shots here. Not going to say they're perfect, but a lot of them are pretty reasonable shots, if I do say so myself. Okay, I think we've got enough after recording this now for less than 2 minutes. And yes, I am showing you the replays because this is how I get my clickbait evidence. So there we go. Event 27 is now unlocked, and the next event we have to do is the Lamborghini Murcielago race. Coming in the next episode.